this would be a pointless sort of a story if it didn't let you into a secret, but have you ever wondered how they put those fillings into chocolates? Luscious, lovely lollies with soft hearts that melt in your mouth, while the girl at your side melts into your arms. What he's rolling is the fondant from which some of the sweetest centers are cut, the stuff that sticks when you want to say, ooh. He'd stick too were it not for the starch. But now, Monsieur Fredericks can take up his own cue. No one knows better than he that hearts are trumps when in the spring youth presses its suits. When a girl's tired of fondant, she's not necessarily tired of life. Maybe she's just a bit fonder of variety. And here's how to press the molds, and the bed he's pressing them in is starch. And this is how those soft centers go in. Glug, glug, glug. Doesn't it make your mouth water? Whether it's hearts or other shapes, in this room we're at the kernel of the matter, for this is the chocolate maker's holy of holies. It's here that sweetness simmers contentedly, far from the impatient world outside, and where he'll show you the secrets of couverture or chocolate dipping. Would you guess, for instance, that those tempting ridges on the top of the chocolates are made as simply as this? Just watch how he handles the fork. We may not all have enough energy to be as handy as Monsieur Fredericks, but there aren't many of us who wouldn't take a leaf out of his book, one of those leaves. Now here's one way to get curves, another is to eat plenty of chocolate curvature, which as you know is French and means nice covering. No one could call this flour natural, but nothing in the world is more natural than wanting to eat it. Well, there it is. And from the way Monsieur Fredericks acts, you think it was just a piece of cake to him. If there was any doubt in your minds on who holds the whip hand on this confectionery game, here's the final proof. Aren't they sweet? And even if you don't like cats, here's one you'd wish had 9 lives. Yes, this little lady's made of chocolate, but boy, isn't she a honey.
We reached boiling point, and we've switched to a famous Piccadilly store where there's something else scrumptious that, like the snogometer, is handmade. You start with a sugar solution that is so strong it nearly turns to crystal. Then you start pouring in oodles of some rare liqueur, because you're making really unique liqueur chocolates. See how it's done. There's a hot, succulent toddy, the heart of a magical chocolate that is solid outside and inside, liquid and sweet. A liqueur that trickles round your tongue. You start by pressing out molds for the master liquor in trays of warmed starch. The starch absorbs just enough moisture from the sugar liqueur mixture to make the outside of it solidify slowly after it's been covered up. See, they're delicate shells at this stage, crammed full of mouth-watering tastiness. And there are other liqueur chocolates with something more solid as a heart, like those that are built round cherries that have been pickled in brandy for months and months. These cherries are oozing brandy from every pore, as one by one they're enclosed in a gooey fondant cream and then left for another month to stew in their own delicious juice before they get the chocolate coating that you'll meet them in. Handmade chocolates, and see how they get their straight line finish one by one. No wonder they cost the earth. This is a unique factory, the last that clings to the handmade perfection of yesterday, high over modern London's bustling Piccadilly, a story up from the elite shopping crowds that throng this elegant store. There are women up to their wrists in it. And the one-by-one treatment these sweetmeats receive isn't over when they've been fashioned and cooled down. They're hand-sorted, and after that, they're each and every one of them hand-packed. A personal service, you could say. Of course, in the old-world atmosphere of elegance that you still encounter here, where mass production is a cheap and ugly word, you get the self-same handmade feeling in the shop itself, on the display counter. These are the end products of craftsmanship in the kitchen. You could almost say edible works of art. Feel tempted? Well, you know that every chocolate here has been made one at a time the way a clever grandma used to make them. That's probably what you've been wanting to do since we started this story.
We're taking you down to Somerdale, to the valley of the Avon, where stacked up in this great factory are 150,000 bags of cocoa beans, ready to be fashioned into chocolate. When they have been cleaned and sent to giant hoppers, they're transferred, in carefully weighed quantities, to the roasters. In the big revolving ovens, the delicate flavour is developed by roasting. Besides time and temperature, the men know by years of experience when the process is complete by the aroma thrown off. The heat loosens the shell, which is thrown off by winnowing, and leaves the nib, as the bean is now called. A has-been, as it were. Further ingredients are necessary for chocolate, and in the mixers is tipped sugar, correctly proportioned of course, an extra amount of cocoa butter, in addition to that already contained in the nibs, and finally the nibs themselves. Now the mixture begins a series of refining processes in these huge granite rollers. These are conches, funny names but effective machines. The chocolate submits to this from 1 to 3 days, whilst the flavour is developed and perfect smoothness obtained. Now, how does the cream get in the chocolate? Very simple. Moulds are filled with molten chocolate, and as they proceed, cream centres are placed in. What could be easier or more tasteful? Farther along, the surplus chocolate is spread over evenly, and after cooling, the bars are turned out. Sort of time, gentlemen, please, about it. Modern wrapping machines are amazingly clever. They handle the chocolate bars as dexterously as a conjurer, and as gently as a woman. With assorted chocolates, it's rather different. As the boxes move along, each girl places a chocolate in, until by the time it reaches the end, the boxes are full. Yes, these are the boxes that single ladies get and the married ones dream of.
Sweet rationing comes to a sticky end, and small boys everywhere hail the Food Minister their hero of the hour. At last, after 9 years on personal points, Britain follows up the heat wave with the sweet wave. As 0 hour approaches, the dawn patrol gathers outside the confectioners. Early birds get a special reward. Money boxes are rifled, and even father joins the queue. The longest memories find it hard to recall such days of plenty. Forget that, that stuff makes even grown-ups do childish things. The good news that draweth old men from the chimney corner and children from play puts the fun back into being young. Tots' mouths have watered a whole lifetime for this great day. For years they've been cheated by the hard facts of world economy from the unrestricted orgies once accepted as the birthright of every child. now hundreds and thousands are back by the billion. Sherbet and rock, gobstoppers and aniseed balls, lollipops and chocolate bars. And now for the tummy ache of a lifetime.